prophesies the temple will be destroyed. AD 70, the temple is destroyed. The Jews are scattered to 106 nations. They shouldn't even be here anymore, but they are. We come to the 1930s. Hitler, inspired by demons, tries to destroy the Jewish people. But God said, no, I'm going to keep my promise to Abraham. I'm going to keep my covenant with Abraham. I promised you I would tell you the secret of Dr. Cerullo's anointing, and I'm going to tell it to you right now. The secret of the anointing on this ministry is Genesis 12:3. I will bless those who bless you. God chose a Jewish orphan named Morris Cerullo and linked him into the covenantal history of God. And while Dr. Cerullo had amazing success in the nations, huge crusades in the nations, but he would still go to little tiny Israel. He would gather with 100 people here and 200 people there because he was working for a day that was yet to come. He didn't forget God's covenant with Israel. He could have ignored Israel. He could have left it off the schedule. But he said, no, I'm not just going to go where there's 100,000 or 500,000 or 1 million. I'm going to go to Jerusalem where I'm only going to speak to 300 because those 300 are chosen for such a time as this to be a part of the remnant that God is calling forth. 1948, Israel is regathered, reconstituted. 1962, God speaks to Morris and he says, call forth you. Touch your neighbor, say, that's me. That's me. God says, call forth my army. I need my army in place. I need my army empowered and alert. I need my army trained and ready for battle. Raise up the army. Say, that's you, that's me. God spoke to him in 62. 67, Jerusalem is reunified. 1991, Dr. C and I meet in Jerusalem. 2004, we usher in the day of prayer for the peace of Jerusalem. The message of Jerusalem, the shofar of Jerusalem begins to be blown in the nations of the earth, and God begins to gather together. Last September, God says, Robert, this year, it's going to Jerusalem. You've been faithful in the little things. It's time now to take what I put in you and cross it over to the next year of glory. Now, listen to me. This is what I heard today. I've brought us through now to October. A month from now, I'll be in Jerusalem. You can go, we have a table right out that door. You can get information. You can go to our website, eagleswings.org or awakejerusalem.com. Join us online, be a part of it. But listen to me, look at me, look at me. This is what I heard today. God had already spoken to Dr. Cerullo. God had already spoken to him. I didn't know any of this. He didn't. I don't know how much he knew of this. But God had already spoken to him, and God said, I want you to go back to Israel, and I want you to gather together all of the leaders of Israel and lay hands on them one more time for the final glory harvest, the final breakthrough harvest to be released throughout Israel and all the Middle East. Dr. Cerullo is going to Israel in November. We are going in early October as a forerunner company to clear the airwaves and to seed the atmosphere with glory. And God already spoke. Do you see the calendar of God? Do you see the purposes of God? And he said, I'm bringing Dr. Cerullo in November to Israel. And it's not going to be for a huge crusade. It's not going to be for a massive thing. I'm sure there will be some of that, but primarily he's going to find the leaders of the next generation in Israel to impart what has been imparted to you. Can you give God praise for that right now?